Good morning, YouTube. It's Bear with BearIndependent.com. We're out on the homestead today, so please bear with any chickens, turkeys, ducks, guinea hens, sheep, goats, dogs, or rifle rounds you may hear in the background. And also, it's quite windy today, so suck it up, Buttercup. We're just going to do the best we can with what we got where we're at. So let's talk about this Virginia Senate Bill 16, which is the assault weapons ban in Virginia, and SB 64, which is the paramilitary activity ban or legislation in Virginia. A couple of caveats. First of all, look at this turkey. Look at this turkey. Just running the show around here. That's the first caveat. Turkeys run the show. Second caveat, I'm not a lawyer. I don't play one on TV. I don't play one on YouTube. This is not legal advice. It's chilly out here. This is one man's interpretation of the facts as I understand them. Okay? Next, I have some documentation here. This video, I have had a lot of people reaching out to me saying, "Yo, Bear, you got to do a video on this." I'm like, copy. I'll consider it. And the more I've considered it, the more convicted I was, I guess, to throw my 2 cents in. But the driving force in this video existing is our brother Twitch from the YouTube channel Shield Bearer of Faith. Shield Bearer of Faith. So if you want to go over to his channel and drop him a comment and say thanks, you can go check him out. Shalom, brother Twitch. Thank you. Virginia Senate Bill 16, assault weapons ban, and Senate Bill 64, paramilitary activity. Now, I did a lot of clicking around on the interwebs trying to see what I could come up with, and ammoland.com had a pretty good article called, where is it? Right here. Yes, Virginia, they want to seize your guns, by Larry Keane. And I have excerpts of that article right here in my dirty little paws. Virginia Democrat State Senate Richard L. Saslaw, who represents a portion of Alexandria, Fairfax County, and Falls Church, all suburbs of Washington, D.C., been there. And caveat, I get all the time, people are like, "Bear, Virginia's falling apart. I don't know what to do." Leave. Or stay. But figure out which one. Don't sit on the fence. If you're going to stay, you might need to stay with one of these in your hand. If not, go. History is in large part the story of people moving about the face of the earth from less ideal situations to more ideal situations. I've been telling people for a decade, get out of Virginia. It's not as Virginia as you think it is. Just as Texas is not as Texas as it thinks it is, Virginia is not nearly as Virginia as it thinks it is. There's perception and then there's reality. And the reality is all of the money and all of the power is in a handful of areas in the state of Virginia. Just like upstate New York is a bunch of, gun-toting, beer-drinking rednecks, downstate is not. Guess who runs the politics in that state? Look at California. Upstate California, Northern California versus Southern California. Shall we continue? This happens. I've seen it destroy several states. So your Virginia is not as Virginia as you think it is. So either stay and do something about it or throw your stuff in a U-Haul and GTFO, bro. All right. Represents portions of Alexandria, Fairfax County, Falls Church, all suburbs of Washington, D.C., sponsored SB 16, which would prohibit the sale, transfer, and possession of so-called assault firearms and certain magazines. Violating the measure would be a state felony. The legislation would also change what is considered an assault firearm. Under the proposed definition, it would include any firearm that is capable of accepting a detachable magazine and one of the following characteristics. Now, we'll just start off with this. Boom, assault rifle. Never mind the fact that this is an AR-15 specifically designed for the civilian market. This is an assault rifle per this bill. So, thumbs up or thumbs down on this bill? Thumbs down. You lose. Okay. Now let's go through the list. Under the proposed definition, it would include any firearm that is capable of accepting a detachable magazine and one of the following characteristics: a folding or telescoping stock, a pistol grip, a thumbhole stock, a second hand grip or a protruding grip that can be held by the non-trigger hand, a bayonet mound, a grenade launcher, a flare launcher, a silencer, a flash suppressor, a muzzle brake, a muzzle compensator, a threaded barrel capable of accepting a silencer, flash suppressor, a muzzle brake, or a muzzle compensator, or any characteristic of like kind, which is left open to the individual to determine if they are in violation of the proposed law. So again, I'm not a lawyer, but that wording seems really shady. Really shady. Any characteristic of like kind, which is left open to the individual to determine if they are in violation of the proposed law. Pistols would be subject to the same definition, with the exception of the pistol grip. Also banned would be any firearm capable of holding more than 10 rounds with a fixed magazine, shotguns with revolving cylinders, or any of the listed characteristics, and those shotguns with a fixed magazine capacity of more than 7 rounds. The ban also extends to assault firearms, parts that can be assembled into a rifle. Meaning that you're not going to just buy the components and build your own AR-15. You better get away from me, chicken. Yeah, get some yonder, boy. Because I'll take my assault Glock, which holds 13+1 in that configuration. Yeah, 45 ACP for the win. Or this assault magazine that holds 15+1 because it's got, or 15 rounds because it's got the base plate. So just standing where I'm standing right here, I'm a 4-count felon right now. Right now, I'm a 4-count felon. Thanks, Virginia. The ban also extends to assault firearms, parts that can be assembled into a rifle. Meaning that you are not going to buy all the pieces for this and put it together and make your own. You can no longer roll your own per SB 16 in Virginia. That's an issue. And if you're like, what rifle is that? I've talked about it on Patreon. I got more stuff coming up on Patreon with this rifle. But here's my issue. This is a completely factory stock Ruger 1022 caliber 22 long rifle with the 10-shot Ruger detachable rotary box magazine. So as of right now, per my understanding of SB 16, this is not an assault weapon. However, I think if I put a Ruger BX25 mag in this, it is an assault weapon. If I change this stock to a thumb hole stock or an ATI pistol grip stock or one of the folding stock variants that they make for this rifle, this is now an assault weapon. This, that chambers that, is an assault weapon. Now, we all know, or at least I believe we all know, that the term assault weapon is a bunch of bullshizer, but it's used to get the emotional response from the constituents that this D-bag supports, represents. So that they'll go, yes, ban the assault rifles, they're evil. Get rid of them. I don't want them, they're terrible, right? If I pick up one of these rocks out of my driveway right now and beat you in the face with it, it's an assault rock. If I grab one of these chickens and swing it at you violently, it's an assault chicken, right? If I go get one of these sticks of firewood over here and just wear you out with it, it's an assault stick. So assault is an action, okay? It's not an item. I think we all understand this. So SB 16 is a terrible law. If it went, back to the article, if that weren't bad enough, Senator Saslaw also introduced SB 18 that would institute an age-based gun ban, making it a felony to purchase a firearm unless the buyer is over 21. That would deny adult Virginians their constitutional right to keep and bear arms, yet they are eligible to vote, serve on juries, marry, serve in uniform, and are fully vested in their rights to free speech and exercise of religion. Great point. I do not believe that the Constitution has age restrictions. The Second Amendment of the United States Constitution reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Of course, there's lots of debate over, well regulated. That means that we're going to regulate away your assault weapons. No, dummy. What it means is that we are well regulated. What it means is you do not want to step across my property line because I'm so well regulated that I will properly ventilate you if the need arises. We're squared away. What this means is a squared away militia being necessary to the security of a free state, like Oklahoma, just saying. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That's what that means. Unless you live in Virginia, in which case it means as long as you're over the age of 21 proposed and you don't put a BX25 magazine in your 22 proposed, you can do whatever you want to do. There's also, I believe, as part of that SB 18 bill, the age restriction that it would make it a felony for anybody between the ages of 18 and 21, and I'm guessing here, I'm trying to remember, so I could be wrong on this, to possess a weapon without adult supervision, meaning you can't just go hunting. When I was growing up, in the hinterlands of upstate New York, we ran around with 22s all the time. You know how much freaking food I put in the freezer with one of these? Lots. Me and my buddies, I had one buddy had that Marlin with the tube magazine. I had another buddy had a nylon 66. I had my 1022. Man, we just wore it out on 22s. That would make us all felons in Virginia. And then additionally, per Senate Bill 64, because there were 2 or more of us and we were all assembled with assault weapons, guess what? We would have been a paramilitary while we were out there hunting squirrels and wabbits. Virginia, you need to get on the ball and do something about this. Senate Bill 64, paramilitary activity, quoting directly from the proposed bill. A person is guilty of unlawful paramilitary activity punishable as a Class 5 felony if he, so women, good news, this clearly doesn't apply to you, if he teaches or demonstrates to any other person the use, application, or making of any firearm. So I can no longer teach you how to run a pistol. I can no longer teach you how to run an AR-15 or a shotgun or a bolt gun or a 22 or a revolver, anything. Teaches or demonstrates to any other person the use, application, or making of any firearm, explosive, or incendiary device or technique capable of causing injury or death to persons, knowing or having reason to know or intending that such training will be employed for use in or furtherance of a civil disorder. So I am supposed to reverse engineer what your intent is before I train you. That puts the burden of responsibility on me. I have to police whether or not you are a scumbag right now in real time in situ, and then project that out to every action you are ever going to take after I continue to lay eyes on you. You somehow, the perpetuity of your integrity somehow becomes my responsibility after we part ways. That's absurd. I don't even understand how that could be in a law. That's ridiculous. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but that makes zero sense. And, or technique capable of causing injury or death. So I guess we don't train jiu-jitsu anymore in the state of Virginia. I guess that, yeah, there's no Krav Maga, no Muay Thai, no Aikido, no Karate. We're not doing any of that. There's no more women's self-defense classes. We can't teach that, that's for sure. Because that might get used in a civil disorder. By the way, civil disorder. It's about damn time we had one. Just saying, we're getting there. What do you think? Got 2 roosters. We don't need both of them. That big white one right there. That big white one. Right there. See, these black hens, those are the Black Betties, and that rooster's name is Bamalam. I'm not making that up, because that's how we roll around here. 2, assembles with 1 or more persons for the purpose of training with, practicing with, or being instructed in the use of any firearm, explosive, or incendiary device or technique capable of causing injury or death to persons intending to employ such training for use in or furtherance of a civil disorder, Or 3, assembles with one or more persons with the intent of intimidating any person or group of persons by drilling, parading, or marching with any firearm, any explosive or incendiary device, or any components or combination thereof. Meaning that no more open carry rallies, no more, well, there's a whole bunch of liberals over there having their demonstration, and so we're going to throw on our plate carriers and our ARs and just stand here. We can't do that because now we're paramilitary. That's a class 5 felony. And you know what? Good. Frankly, I think it's time for some paramilitary activity, which gets us to what I was saying. What do we do about this? Well, if you're in Virginia, you need to raise holy hell over this. This is ridiculous. This is straight up tyranny, if you ask me. It's not soft tyranny. It's not tyranny light. It's straight up tyranny. You are telling me that I cannot train people in the proper use of their firearms, and I'm severely restricted in what firearms I can even possess. And this is retroactive, as I understand it. So that means with the swipe of a pen, millions of people are going to be guilty of tens of millions of felony counts of assault weapons possession by the signing of this one law. Absolutely absurd. So if you're in Virginia, you need to be getting a hold of your people and letting them know, absolutely not. Not only do we not supply this law or support this law, we will not comply. I will not comply. Just let the SWAT team know now, I will not comply. Bring friends, because I'm bringing mine, right? That's where I'm at with this. I will not comply, period, the end. This is tyranny actual, and frankly, I think it needs to be treated as such. So you can stay in Virginia with one of these in your hand, get a politician on the phone, and say, here's the deal, buddy. Do your effing job and shut this down. Or throw all your stuff in a U-Haul and move to a place where this isn't happening. Another small toot of the horn for Arklatexa, where I live. Constitutional carry is the law of the land, and it's illegal to perform an abortion in this state. And while I'm a very liberty-minded individual, those two things are near and dear to my heart. I don't believe you get to take innocent life, and I don't believe you get to infringe upon my right to protect my life and the lives of the innocents that I've been entrusted with by the Most High Father Yahweh. So here, you know what? We don't have lots of brilliant strip malls and the best paved roads and all of that in a lot of areas of this state, but we don't have an overreaching tyrannical state government either. So, you know what else we don't have? Absurd property taxes or property values. 20 acres, 2 houses, 2 barns, 3 creeks, 2 springs, 3 wells, $148K. Cash money, baby, come at me. $70,000 less than my 2-bedroom, 3-bath house on a third of an acre that should have been bulldozed in North Texas. So, yeah. You can stay and you can fight. Remember what happens when we get past the point of diplomacy. This is why they don't want you to have assault weapons and they don't want you to train with them. So you can stay and fight, or you can throw all your stuff in a U-Haul and leave. And I don't begrudge you either one. Either one. But Virginia, remember, you are not as Virginia as you think you are, and you have not been for a long time. You are too close to Washington, D.C. And I've got extended family in Wise County, Virginia, which is nowhere near D.C., but you're too close to D.C. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and your state is being corrupted and has been corrupted for a long, long time. So while I know this sucks for you Virginians, you can either do something about it or you can leave. And I don't blame you for either one. I do not blame you for either one. But I would be raising holy hell with my Virginia state representatives right now, with the urging that we need to be able to talk about this, and this needs to go away, because you're not going to like it if we can no longer talk about it. Shalom, y'all.